This is a 10-minute dynamic practice and it's suitable for beginners. Let's start off in a comfortable seated position, a cross-legged position. Rock from one sit bone to the other, really find your seat. And then lengthen up through the spine. Relax the weight of your shoulders down to the floor and settle your hands to the top of your legs. Eyes closed. Keep your breathing even and steady. Just a couple of cycles of getting in touch with your breath. So from there, let's start to stretch out through the sides of the body, extending the arms. Inhale and side bend over to the right. Stretch out of your left hip. And then breathe in to come back to the center. Let's go over to the left side, side bend and stretch up and out of your right hip. Extend through the fingers. Back to the center on the exhalation. And twist over to the right side. Keeping your spine lifted and turning on the exhalation. Release, come back to the center. And then over to the left side, keeping the spine lifted and with each exhalation, turning your belly over to the left. Come back to the center, settle your hands and let's release the lumbar spine. So slowly walking the hands forward until you can bring your trunk as low as possible to the floor. Release the head, soften the sides of the neck, and feel the spine extend and stretch. 2 or 3 cycles of breathing there, and then slowly walk your hands in towards your legs, bring yourself back to sitting. Drop the shoulders. Notice your breathing. And let's transition from that seated pose to a cat pose position on all fours. Make sure your alignment is correct, so wrists underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. And then we begin with the inhalation, lifting the head and the tailbone. As you exhale, press into your hands, drop the head, drop the tailbone to the floor. Breathe in as you stretch the belly, the chest and the throat. Exhale, press the hands firmly against the floor, arch your spine, release the back of the neck. Just 1 or 2 more cycles of that cat pose position to wake up the spine. And then from there, get ready to move to downward facing dog pose. By tucking your toes under, move the hips back. As you exhale, drop the heels into the floor. Let go of the weight of your skull. Rock between the toes and the heels, maybe go into a pedaling movement with the feet to release the hips. And then not staying there too long, we start walking forward, small steps forward for forward standing bend. Releasing the shoulders and the head again. Spread into the feet, bend your knees, inhaling, arms go out to the side, lift up to the ceiling, palms come together, and come to standing in mountain pose. Soften the shoulders, rock between the toes and the heels, spread into your feet. Settle the weight of your shoulders down, and then on the inhalation, step back with your left foot for triangle pose. Raise your right arm up as you inhale, exhaling deep bend in your right hip. Left arm can either stay onto your left hip or stretch up to the ceiling. Spread into both your feet, come up to standing. Release the arms and back to the front, mountain pose. Let's go over to the other side. So we take a step back with your right foot this time. Left arm stretches up on the inhalation. And as you exhale, deep bend in your left hip, right arm goes up to the ceiling. So just watch how your neck feels in this triangle pose. You could look straight up to your right thumb or down to the floor. Spread into the feet, inhaling, come up to standing and step forward to mountain pose. Settle the shoulders, spread into your feet. And then from there, inhaling, arms go up the side, palms come together, exhale, forward bend. Let's step straight back to downward facing dog pose. As you breathe in, right leg goes up to the ceiling. Exhaling, step forward to a lunge position. So this is a psoas stretch. Drop your left knee down, lengthen the back toes away. Inhale to raise the arms up to the ceiling. As you exhale, take your arms down the side. Interlace your fingers and lengthen the arms as much as you can. Really open through the breastbone. Then breathe out and drop the hands forward, twisting over to the right side. Turn the belly and chest. Right arm lengthens to the ceiling. Coming out of that lunging position, let's step back to downward facing dog pose. Breathe in and left leg swings up to the ceiling. As you exhale, come forward to lunging position. Back to that psoas stretch, so lengthen the back toes away. Inhale to raise the arms and exhale. Arms go out to the side. And let's interlace the fingers together. Stretching and opening across the front of the trunk, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then you can release and twist over to the left side, stretching left arm up to the ceiling. And just watching the neck again, you can look wherever it feels comfortable for you. Exhale and let's step back to downward facing dog pose. Settle your feet and then drop down onto your knees. Exhaling, let's rest in child pose. So drop down through your hips, your shoulders and your skull in child pose. If you'd like to release the shoulders, you can also change the arm position. Have the arms on either side of your legs. Drop the shoulders down to the floor. If your head's not settling well on the floor, you can have one hand over the other and the forehead resting on the hands. Couple of cycles there, just releasing the head, the shoulders and the hips. And when you're ready, round the spine and roll up to sitting. Notice the length of your spine, notice your breathing, just savor that moment of stillness. And from there, let's come to lying on our back. Lengthen the legs out. Make sure that your skull is really resting comfortably on the floor. And then we slide the arms up and bring them to the level of the shoulders, palms turned down to the floor, fingers extended. Bring your knees up onto your chest and roll from one hip to the other, settling your lower back. Then exhale. Slowly roll the legs over to the left as your head rolls over to the right. So you can use your left hand to the top of the legs to just weight the legs down, relax the legs into the floor. Breathe deeply into your trunk, into your rib cage. Notice the sensations in your lower back. And when you're ready on the inhalation, legs come up to the center. As you breathe out, legs go over to the right, head rolls over to the left. And you can do the same on that side, bringing your right hand to the top of the legs, helping drop the knees, helping drop the bones of the legs. And on the inhalation, we come back to the center. Squeeze the knees down gently into your chest, easing out your lumbar spine. And release the legs. And then begin to lengthen them out, ready for a couple of minutes of relaxation. So we extend out through the heels and allow the feet to roll out to the side. Drop down through the back of your shoulders. And then slowly roll your head from one side to the other, releasing the sides of the neck and releasing the weight of the skull. When you come back to the center, simply allow the weight of your body to sink and to settle into the floor. You can stay in this relaxation pose from between 5 to 10 minutes. Notice your breathing. Notice the contact of your body against the floor. Okay, at the end of your relaxation, roll over to your side and make your way up to sitting.